Finally, it's here. Week 1. We've got the Cleveland Browns opener at Huntington Bank. Is it Huntington Bank Stadium? Did I say that right?
Field. Huntington Bank
Bank
Field.
Field. Okay.
Because
Gotta
Huntington
make sure I
Bank
get it right.
Stadium's in Minnesota, and Huntington Park is in Columbus for the
there's
Clippers.
so many of them now.
Huntington's just taking over.
No nickname, though. Haslam said no nickname.
Yeah.
Bank Field.
We'll make one. We just won't tell Uncle Jimmy.
Right. So 4 p.m. start this week. It's on Fox. Tom Brady making his debut in the booth with with the Browns and the Cowboys. I seen a graphic today. It's crazy. Pretty much the whole country is going to be watching this game. I think it was 2 or 3 states where they're going to be showing Buccaneers and Commanders, and then the rest of the states are going to be showing the Browns and Cowboys. So a lot of eyes are going to be on them this week. Even more of a reason to come out and look good and get a big win to start the season. There's one big thing that's going to help the Browns. Dallas's defensive back, Deron Bland, who crazy 9 interceptions in his 2 seasons, had 14 picks in the NFL. Just a great young player. He's out for I think 6 to 8 games. Went on the IR, so won't have to face him, which is good for Deshaun Watson. I got a tickle in my throat. But some things to watch. The Browns. I don't know if you heard Jed Wills today. I don't know if he was supposed to leak it, but he kind of leaked that he won't be starting Sunday, which means it's most likely Jack Conklin's. He did mention how good Conklin's looked at left tackle in practice. So it looks like it's going to be Conklin and DeJuan Jones at the tackles with Wills backing him up, even though he's returned to practice today.
Yeah.
Which I think that's my my preferred duo at the tackle spots. I think Conklin will be just fine at left tackle. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, it seemed weird. I don't know if Stefanski said it or if it was just people trying to put 2 and 2 together with Jed returning to practice, but there was talk about he may be able to start or could start, and then he comes out, he's like, yeah, I'm not starting. It's just like, whoop, the Browns are back, baby. But it'll be interesting with Conklin since he's been in Cleveland and probably even before when he was with Tennessee. Health has always been the issue. So whether it's right tackle or left tackle, we need him healthy to be out there. It's great to see that DeJuan Jones will be starting. He did nothing but impress last year, so I would have hated to see him, slide back into a reserve role just because guys returned from injury. But such is the nature of the beast. But yeah, I like Wills. I know he gets a bad rap, but I think with it being a contract year, I think we're going to see the best Jed Wills this season whenever he does return to the field. Whether or not he's part of the future plans beyond this season for Cleveland, I highly doubt that. But we shall see. But yeah, I'm excited to see the first team offense. And, I know Clarence talked about last week, the last thing we want to hear about for Deshaun Watson is rust. I'm tired of that excuse. If you're worried about him being rusty, he should have been playing at least a little bit through the preseason. If Patrick Mahomes can play a quarter or 2 here or there, there's no reason Deshaun Watson couldn't. I know there's been talk about his shoulder maybe being sore or something like that regarding his injury recovery from last year. But, we've been waiting for Deshaun Watson, and, you try to get past all the off-field stuff and, try to just, focus in on between the line stuff. And he's shown flashes, but, not enough flash to warrant what was given up, what they paid him. I know they restructured some things to free up some cap space this season and whatnot, but this needs to be the year. I know Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski were given contract extensions over the winter, but that's no guarantee that Jimmy doesn't get that itchy finger and pull the trigger on either of them if this team doesn't perform. And I know they're on paper the strength of schedule, when taking into account last season's records, they're top for most difficult schedule. And it starts this week with Dallas, but you you need to perform. And 3 or 4 years ago, maybe we do settle for a 500 record, but the way this team is built now and what they've shown over the past couple seasons, you've come to expect more, whether or not you're playing a difficult schedule or not. There's 32 teams in the NFL, and yeah, some have bad years, but when it comes to parity, the NFL is probably the most, out of the NBA, MLB, and NFL, they're probably the most for parity. So there's no reason that you can't put it together and stuff. And a lot of times it's comes down to a couple plays, not having turnovers, unforced errors with penalties. And if you want to be a playoff team, those are the things that you have to do better than everyone else, whether or not you're better on paper or not when you're looking at the depth charts. So, yeah, but seeing Jerry Jeudy, almost forgot that they acquired him this offseason because really haven't seen him. Interesting to see how Amari Cooper does. Got a little bit more money, no extension of years, and then all the trade rumors with Ayuk a few weeks ago. Interested to see how he comes out. Would like to see Elijah Moore kind of live up to what we thought we were getting when we acquired him last year, and maybe sliding into that slot and third receiver option, maybe take some of the pressure off of him, and he's able to kind of settle into that position a little bit more. But yeah, the offense on paper, even without Chubb, and that's a big loss, big missing piece, but they still should be able to put up points. And the defense, when they're healthy, is the other three guys on the line going to do enough to kind of take the pressure off of Myles Garrett? Are the linebackers going to be able to apply pressure so Garrett isn't getting double teamed and chipped on every down? That's what you're going to need on defense, and defensive backs, no blown coverages and no stupid penalties, and hopefully Denzel Ward stops using his head so much when he's making tackles.
Yeah, the one thing that's going to be interesting, no matter who plays tackle, and which we said it looks like it's going to be Conklin and DeJuan Jones, the Cowboys have one of the best pass rush duos in the league with Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. So they're going to be a handful for sure. But on the other side of the ball with Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett, the Cowboys are starting their rookie first-round pick at left tackle. Can't remember his name here. Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. And then on the other side, Terrence Steele, their right tackle, is average at best. So they should be able to get to Dak Prescott. Offensively, just you got to stop CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he's the guy. Hopefully they I'm not sure who's going to be on him, maybe Denzel Ward. But running back, they lost Tony Pollard. They re-signed Zeke, who's a shell of what he used to be. They just signed Delvin Cook. I know they have a younger guy, can't remember his name, that kind of split carries of Pollard last year, who might end up being the primary guy. But like I said, it comes down to stopping Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and if you can keep those guys in check, I think you have a good shot. And offensively, you mentioned Elijah Moore. It's time for him to step up. He's had 1-2 good games since we acquired him, and I was excited when we got him from the Jets. I thought he'd be a big piece, but you know what? I just have a feeling that Cedric Tillman's going to end up passing him up this year. I know that they raved about Tillman this preseason and training camp and how much better he looked from his rookie year. And, he's a guy with a lot of talent. So I think he can end up passing on more at some point this year. And I think this will be more his last year. Speaking of the Ayuk, did you hear the reported offer that the Browns made?
No.
A second, a third, and Amari Cooper is what allegedly what the offer was to 49ers for Ayuk.
Wow.
Thank God that did not go through.
Yeah,
because he's a talented young receiver, but man, he's not that good. Come on.
No. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's no wonder the 49ers jumped at that offer, and thankfully Ayuk didn't want to come here because I don't want him here for that price. That's for sure.
No, and then I
get what they were trying to do. Yeah, I get what they were trying to do. This is Cooper probably going to be his last year in Cleveland. Ayuk could have stepped up and been that new number one with Jerry Jeudy, but they'll have to. Hopefully, Tillman develops into that number two guy maybe, and maybe Jeudy. He's always had the talent to be a number one. Maybe change the scenery and this offense. Maybe he steps up in that number one role next year. So. But that's next year. We got to worry about this year. And just a quick comment on Judd Wills. It's not a talent issue with him. He's got the talent. It's an effort issue, and it always has been. How many times do you see him get beat and then he just gives up, just stands there?
Yeah.
He's got the talent. It's effort, and like you said, being in a contract year, looking for that new contract, whether it's here or somewhere else, he's going to want to play well and have a big year. So hopefully that ramps up his effort for this season. All right, so it's prediction time.
Oh boy,
we need a winner and a score for Sunday.
Ooh, man,
putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you are. Browns 24. Dallas 20. 24-20.
Okay. Yeah, if you can hold them to 20 points or less, you definitely should win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Browns 34-24.
All right.
Like I said, lockdown CeeDee Lamb, and you should be good to go.
Yeah. Yep. And he had his holdout as well. So, he and Prescott have played multiple years together, but still there's timing, there's agility, there's stamina, and they always say you can't replicate reps. You can try all you want, but once you get the pads on and you're running routes at full speed, sometimes it takes a little bit for the legs to get under you. But yeah, as long as the Browns win, but the openers have never been kind to the Browns since returning, whether it's home or away or a bad opponent or good opponent. I wonder if LeBron will be there in the Cowboys hat. Remember that?
Yeah.
What year was that?
No, he's a Browns fan now.
Yeah.
Remember, he changed over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Didn't watch much preseason. Couldn't take couldn't sit through much of that. So I'm definitely ready for the regular season to get rolling. And like we said on our preview show, Browns season preview, the early part of the schedule is where they need to make their hay because they got to run that gauntlet of quarterbacks and tough teams in that second half. And hopefully they play well the first half and you get Nick Chubb back, a healthy, fresh Nick Chubb for that second half to give you a boost. And like we said last week, they ended up re-signing Deontay Foreman. It was just a roster shuffling deal. So good to see because I know I've seen some people predicting a big season for Jerome Ford. So, I know he had some good games last year, but it seems like he'd get his yards in big chunks and then average like 2-3 yards a carry after that. So we'll see. Got him, we got Pierre Strong, and we got Deontay Foreman until Chubb gets back. So,
and with a good passing game, keeps the box from being loaded up, and maybe that allows for a couple holes to be made for a Jerome Ford. He's got the shiftiness to hit the hole and make those big plays. It's just a matter of getting through that first level of defense, and but if Watson's finding receivers and they're getting chunk plays through the air rather, and then you get into some nickel and dime situations, and then maybe that opens up the run game. And I know teams, especially with Chubb out, are probably looking for the Browns to come out and pass first. So you need a run game, whether it's Foreman or Strong or whomever gets the rock. They're going to have to do something with it, or Watson will be dropping back and there'll be 8 guys in coverage. But
yeah, I think Ford's going to start, and then you'll probably see Foreman. He's the bigger physical guy, get the short yardage and the goal line, kind of like Kareem Hunt last year, and rightfully so, since he has the same number and he's got the same hairdo. Looks just like him, except for the name. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a fun season this year, and we'll be talking about it either way. It would be good or bad. So
yep.